This is a podcast for the P-E-O-P-L-E. For the people. The people.
Again, great jingle from Kurt. Thanks so much. That's this week's iteration. We're always innovating here, so each week we're going to have a nice new jingle. So, it's your boy Gall coming at you, People's Pod, Week 3 recap. Weaver is somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Washington, working the super late shifts for training this week. So, in his stead, we have a friend of the pod and beloved member of the league, Brad Sones. Brad Sones, how are you?
Brad Sones, how are you? Glad to be here. Happy to make the appearance.
Yes. Oh, man. This is going to be a great show. Going with some quick life updates. We talked about Monty Python on a podcast a few weeks ago. Weaver hadn't seen it, and Evan has his aptly named team because of it.
A shrubbery.
That's right. They demanded a shrubbery. And so, in order to educate Weaver, we decided to have a potluck/movie night on Friday night. Wonderful time. I made clam chowder. The downstairs neighbors brought up some pulled pork sandwiches. Kurt made a fabulous salad. We had mulled wine by Chelsea, desserts. It was just fucking phenomenal.
Rave reviews for that chowder, I heard, through the grapevine.
Dude, yeah, I loved it. Let's just say I'll be making it again very soon.
Very good.
But then we got to the movie, and while there still are the funny jokes that we all remember, my overall review of the movie is that it drags and did not live up to what I remembered.
Wow.
I know, it might be an unpopular opinion, and again, I remembered it so fondly that I was so adamant that Weaver had to see it, but afterwards, I felt like we could have made a better choice.
I really appreciate the guy smashing the cat against the wall in multiple different scenes. One of my favorites.
There's a lot of good British wit and shock value across the whole movie.
Bring out your dad.
But then there's just a lot of dragging.
Yes, of course.
But that was Friday. Sunday, we watched some games here in the morning. We had a nice breakfast made. Mm-hmm. Actually, we should go back a little bit. We have a pretty fun book story.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you want to take the wheels on this one?
Sure. So I was referred by someone to get a book on affirmations. Like every day there's a new affirmation you can read. The book is called Reflections in the Light by some white lady with an Asian name. But anyway, I ordered the novel or book. I tell Colin as I'm ordering it, I'm like, yo, dude, this could be a good book. And he's like, oh, buckaroo. Thank you for the invite. I'll order one too. For Chelsea, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So he orders it at the same time. Now 3-4 days go by. I'm checking, no book. 3 more days come by. A package comes for Colin Gall in the shape of a book. And I'm like, dude, like, why? How did you get yours before me? What? I'm like, dude, your book came. And then what did you say?
I was like, another book.
Yeah, another book.
I don't remember ordering 2 books.
And then I said, another book. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the one. And he's like, wait a minute, I already got that one. And then, so we opened the one for Colin Gall, and it's The Reflections in the Light, the book.
Now I'm very confused.
Right, yeah, you have 2 of the same book. And then we begin to realize that the first one was probably for me, but someone in their excitement opened it up. So we went out to the trash can, the U trash can, of course, and Colin rifled through, found a package open for Bradley Sones. Committing a felony, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul, I suppose.
Just a classic Canada and me, instance. What kind of mischief are the Buckaroos getting into this week? This week, right. Colin takes Brad's book by mistake.
Has no idea until another book comes.
And the boys end up in the trash can.
And then now, nevertheless, I still have the book, and Chelsea also has a copy. So
all's well that ends well.
Indeed.
And the affirmations are affirming.
They're nice, yeah.
Another life update. So Colin is now non-traditionally employed. Stu inspired me. I've been unemployed basically all of quarantine. So I decided a few weeks ago to knock off the rust on the saxophone. Took it out of its case. I've been fiddling around a little bit. Basically can play at an 8th grade level. And so I decided to put up my services on Craigslist. And now I actually have a bevy of students now. So I'll be virtually teaching these children. Hopefully there's no parental oversight because the children will only be learning the hand positioning of the saxophone
Yes.
and hot cross buns.
Yes. Classic recorder level playing.
But actually, my old company reached out to me last week, Snapwire, asking if I was still looking, and they had some contractual work for me. So I'll be working 25 hours a week at a bumped up hourly wage. So your boy is now, what did I say in the G-chat today? Soon I'll be procrastinating again during work.
Yes, like we were today watching these wild card games, which we'll get into later. But yeah, I'm happy for you, dude. That's good. It seems like a good gig, you know. You get paid for the hours you work. Who would have thought, you know?
Right. I feel like I probably was working an average of 25 hours a week anyway beforehand.
Oh, dude, definitely.
So, so this will be right in line. But yeah, any weekend updates you want to share with the fam?
Weekend updates. Went on a really long bike ride. Didn't crash and hurt myself this time. That's a plus. Got in the ocean. That was good. Yeah, man. Watched this weekend. I was really into that Stanley Cup game, which of course the Tampa Bay Lightning have now won the Stanley Cup. I know this isn't hockey touchdown, but that was a big moment, and LeBron went absolutely ham in that game as well. So Lakers Heat in the finals, but yeah, it was exciting stuff, really.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Moving on, today I was able to listen to the bonus champion pod. Now, I was worried I was going to lap them because
That's right.
If you remember, Stu really prided himself on doing 2 or 3 podcasts in a row last season where the People's Pod did not release any, and now
That's right.
the shoe was almost on the other foot.
Just in the nick of time.
But
really.
yeah, they got it in under the wire. Enjoyed listening to that group of NorCal bros. Had Blair Witch Bromalley this time.
Yes.
So last year it was Bacon here at the People's Pod where you could barely hear him because he was kind of fading off over here. And this time it was Blair Witch Bromalley. So love the throwbacks too. Thanks for that. Also the professionalism, not only the background distractions of the football game, but O'Malley farting on a number of mics. So whatever it was, but it definitely kept me on my toes. But some quick hits. One, you guys talked about the Marvel villainous and unequal character distribution. I wanted to shout out Adam for playing Hela. I also enjoyed Hela. Also, we've only played like 2 or 3 rounds of Marvel villainous, and Kurt actually won with what's his name? Thanos, because we were playing it completely wrong.
The man,
and
the myth, the legend.
He basically just wiped the floor with us.
Played it completely wrong.
Yeah.
That makes it easy.
And so I can't speak so much about Marvel in this, but in the Disney one, I definitely agree that some characters are easier to win with than others, especially on a one-on-one scenario. So hear you there. Also, it sounds like, Stu, you're addicted to 5-hour energy.
You still on the 5-hour energy?
Yeah.
You were on that when you lived here, Buckaroo.
He actually was talking about this morning cocktail that him and Amber share that's not alcoholic, but it has a mix of like 5-hour energy.
A Monster, Rockstar.
And Emergency and ethanol and like a bunch of other stuff. So,
right, butane. Yeah.
This
That's
classic
good for
kind
you.
of put a jolt in your morning.
Maybe we should get a sponsor of 5-hour energy to really sweep the legs of Stu.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That might happen this podcast. You'll have to wait to find out. And lastly, really enjoyed the 10-minute dive into the cornhole that the 2 couples played. Initially, I was going to rip you guys more on that, but then I realized it was talking about bets, which we do enjoy.
We do know Colin is addicted to betting, much like Stuart with the 5-hour energy. But I didn't know this was Cornhole Touchdown. I learned something today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, great pod. I look forward to the next one. But okay, getting back into the picks for this week.
The picks.
So week 2, Gall went 3-3. Week 3, I actually went 4-2. We went 4-2, and Stu went 5-1. So to quickly go through these, we'll start with the Buckaroo Bowl, I guess,
yes,
would
the
be aptly
Buckaroo
named.
Bowl.
What are your quick hits about your team? What were you feeling?
I was excited you made a bet on it. I thought that was cool. Early going, I had like 4 points for a while, and I had a bunch of people to play, but it's always a little unnerving. You know, it's like, oh, I'm projected to win by 35, and
The Bush.
Yes, and you were going your downward spiral about Cam over Josh Allen, Buckaroo Allen.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
What have I done?
There was a lot of hand wringing and what have I done, which you love to see.
I liked how, not to cut you off, but in the Bills game, they had a graphic they showed in like 10:02.
Yeah. That's right, dude. We just got it all set up. We're like sitting down, and it's like Allen like leading the league in passing yards and touchdown, and Collins immediately just, what have I done? Just as it's all locked in. You actually mentioned to me at like 9:40, like I'm gonna start Cam. And in my mind, I'm like, I would not have done that. But I was like, right on. I had to play it cool. Right? I didn't want you to like reverse tinker your way to a win. But let's just say it wouldn't have mattered at all. I don't think anything would have mattered. Kamara, of course, is really selling out for the team. I was surprised that Sanders and Mixon got you 20 combined. I actually think they're pretty good. And yeah, the Washington football team just absolutely mediocre for sure, but somehow in first place in the East, as shown by Max today.
Yeah. I tried to get too cute, I think, with this week. Even before the Cam versus Josh Allen on Thursday night, I had Parker, Gesicki, and Keelan Cole going. Benched Tyler Boyd for Cole, and that backfired, and just that basically was a premonition of my week on the whole. So yeah, a lot of things went wrong, but let's just say Josh Allen will be back in my lineup very soon.
For sure.
Then looking on your side, Alvin Kamara is unstoppable. Like, I think he might just carry you to a championship.
13 catches. You'd love to see that. That's insane.
Yeah, that's fucking receiver numbers.
Yeah, I know.
And then Tampa Bay defense, something that almost didn't happen for you if not for the quote-unquote collusion.
It's still my only waiver transaction of the year. Colin imploring me to make a selection. It's like, fine.
Imploring.
I was proud of my 0, and then he's like, do something. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do something. And then, they're really doing quite well, and I started them over New England, who got 15, and I was a little sad. I was like, fuck, I fucked up, but then I didn't fuck up at all. They actually did better, so totally fine. But yeah, 0 points to John Brown. You don't like to see that. But I'll take it.
So yeah, Brad wins the Buckaroo Bowl. So moving on, we'll get over to PB Lee versus No One Fucks Like Gaston.
Winning the money. Nice job, Pebbles. Well done.
Yeah, so in this matchup, quick hits for me, Robinson, Jacksonville running back. We talked about him a few times in the last few pods, but that is his job. Watching the Thursday night game, praying for Keelan Cole to get some looks as garbage time is happening, and literally snap goes off, wide receivers run their routes, linebackers and corners drop, and then 20 yards is wide open for the dump, and then Robinson run. The Jaguars ran the play. They must have done like 8 times in the second half. Same thing.
Yeah.
And then Keenan find the end zone.
Yeah.
Herbert loves Keenan, so if he stays the starter, Keenan's arrow is going to shoot up.
Yep. Great receiver play for Pebbles really across the board. The double tight end again. He's done like, 2 weeks in a row? Maybe 3 weeks in a row. But 6.3 points.
Dude, the pickup of the week, I would say, might not have been Mike Davis, but the Indy defense.
Yeah, 28's insane.
I put a bid on them. Pebbles outbid me, and then 28 points later.
Turns out the Jets are really bad.
Yeah, that's they're the worst team in football.
They're so bad.
Back over to Omals and No One Fucks Like Gaston. I actually liked Gaskin's usage by the Dolphins. Same kind of thing on Thursday night where he was getting all the play, and I think double digits out of him was more than I would expect.
That's right, yeah.
And Dalvin Cook is a beast.
Yep.
One sad thing about O'Malley's team is we were commending him for his Russell Gage pickup a few weeks ago because Matty Ice and the Falcons keep digging holes and then slanging it. And Gage suffered a concussion. Now he's questionable.
Classic.
So O'Malley can't catch a break and gets the third L of his young season.
Yeah, I actually really liked O'Malley's draft. He was right next to me. And I remember my strategy was I wanted 5th for Kamara or Cook. And it turns out it's true because Cook is killing it too. Like looking really good, very strong. 181 rushing yards is awesome to see. And Hopkins is just as good as we thought, if not even better in Arizona, so which is awesome.
Right, yeah, it definitely seems that the Hopkins football gravity, right? The ball's just going.
Turns out he's really fucking good.
So Pebs gets the win. Everyone
and the money.
All the podcasters
Nice
picked
job.
against O'Malley. Will that happen again?
We'll find
Probably.
out. Let's just say soon.
Next matchup, and this might be the snooze fest of the week. Both managers not reaching their projections was Dion Dioff versus Rent Tent
Chump.
So you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. He's moved on from Chump to Roethlisberger, who didn't do too bad. I thought he had a pretty solid game. That game actually surprised me. I thought Houston was going to take care of it. But, Cook on the Saints, he only didn't have as many looks. It's crazy. Same things you're talking about with the Jags. Like, Kamara was just there at the three yards right next to Breeze, and it's just 11 yards every time. Why would you not do that every time? And Trabajo Gonzalez making an appearance as well, which is a classic. Really, just across the board, I think the receivers here were just tough. 72.48 pulling ball. Come on, but you hate to see that.
Yeah, that's Adam's team might be in trouble sitting at 11th here with a 1 and 2, although it's very early. On the Bacon side, Joe Burrow puts up 20 points.
Yeah.
Bacon dropped Brady and increased the points on his QB position by about 12 last week. Tyreek Hill having a Tyreek Hill game. I tried to convince Bacon to trade me Hill for Cam. He wouldn't do it. And,
probably a good call.
Now Tyreek Hill eclipsed Cam's point the next week. Actually, a lot of players did.
I will commend the Derrick Henry draft as well. He's constantly blowing my mind. I'm always like, dude, nah. He'll regress, right? And then he just keeps not regressing at all. Like, so he's going to be good for a while. But yeah, Bacon, nice job. Your kicker won, Jay Tucker, under his projected. We got to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers, bro.
So, yeah, Bacon now is 2-1, sitting at 5th. Some uncharted territory since the curse that he levied on Adam all those years ago.
Yes. Oh, God,
so
that was...
Let's just say we'll be watching Bacon's career with
great interest
going forward. So, Bacon gets the win. Podcasters, I had Adam taking it. Weaver actually had Bacon taking it. And I don't remember Stu's pick, but Bacon takes it. So, next matchup. Oh, this one's good.
The Charkin
This
Ranch.
is the Chicken Ranch Bowl here. We have Diamond Bill versus SB Charkin Ranch. So, again, low-scoring affair. Both teams do not reach their projections, even with the Charkin Ranch as being very pedestrian to begin with.
It was.
But highlights for the Charkin Ranch. Allen Robinson looks like a new man with Foles at quarterback. The Lizard, we were watching that. He was just
a lot of love
around.
at the Lizard in the Buckaroo Bowl. We both are big fans of his cold-bloodedness, perhaps.
And then look at that. He's getting 15 out of Mason Crosby. You love to see that when your kicker gives you 15. On Bill's side, pretty lackluster week. I mean, Lamar puts up 14.18.
Yeah, that's crazy low.
Not what you're thinking. I think it might have been his worst game as a starter, honestly. I mean, only 97 pass yards. It's not what's up, but
still has 83 rushing yards.
Jeez. Tyler Lockett saves Bill's day with 3 receiving touchdowns, 9 receptions, 100 yards. That's
got to be one of the high scores of the week at all positions. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Kamara-esque.
But do you think there's some concern for Bill, seeing as even with that blow up, his team only puts up 118?
Yeah, I want to see what's going on the bench too for this one in particular. Oh, Gallup on the bench. That's surprising. I think he's going to slot in well for if Johnson on Pitt can't go. No, I was very impressed with Diggs as well in Buffalo. He's clearly the guy. I could have had him in the draft, and I passed on because, new team. I was a little shook. But he's the dude, man. He's going to produce, and I think that's looking good. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know who this guy Chenault is on Jacksonville at all. I never even heard that name
he's
before.
He's a rookie wide receiver, but he's like a Swiss Army knife. And he's getting a lot of media attention, but not really producing in the way that
a new name for Bill as well, due to his Swiss Army knife skills.
That's right.
You got more than John Brown, I will say that.
So Stu drops this one. His team is looking a little sad without McCaffrey, and Chark was down. Stu's already doom and glooming his way to 12th
Starts
place.
Tannehill over Watson, which I thought was the pick of the week. I was the most like, what?
Maybe Stu getting a little cute. Although, in Stu's defense, the Minnesota defense had not been living up to his billing. And Tannehill threw 4 touchdowns the previous week.
He really did.
I can see where the logic is with that one. It just didn't pan out as he was hoping. So, Bill gets the win.
Lamar looks so sick in
both
Bill's
myself and Weaver
Got that one wrong.
Took Bill.
Oh, you did? Oh, you guys got it right. All right.
Yeah, and actually, I'm pretty sure Stu bet against himself too.
Classic hedge.
So moving on, we got
Closest one of the
Prince
week.
of El Air and shoosed her, shoosed him, shoosed us, shoosed everybody.
Shoosed him, shoosed her, shoosed Buckaroo.
Yeah, this one was sneaky close. I mean,
Very
Russell
close.
goes off for Max, 5 passing
man.
touchdowns. I mean, he's still having an incredible year.
Jesus Christ.
Connor, who was dead 2 weeks ago, and we were all trying to scoop up his backup now, is back-to-back high-scoring
Doing
weeks
just
for
fine,
Max.
yeah.
Double digits out of both kicker and defense for Max, so that's a good week. I mean, Deshaun Jackson goes down, so he's going to have to slot someone else in that receiver spot. Although Corey Davis hasn't picked up the slack there. Watkins, maybe a surprise sit. I guess Baltimore had pretty good defense.
Yeah.
But Watkins still had 7 receptions on 8 targets.
Yeah, it's not bad. What stands out for me is 2 things. Max getting his first win of the year by 4 points in a very close matchup. That's got to be exciting and satisfying. And also, Kevin's line, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 2 yards. I never seen anything like that ever. That's unbelievable. That's Jerome Bettis X.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
yeah.
That's insane. So, good for you. 13.2 on 2 catches and 2 yards.
Keep throwing him out there.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's still nursing some injuries. I know
Dude,
he's kind of banged up.
And Bill would have won if without the Metcalf fuck up, the punch out for the
Weaver,
touchback. Weaver. Sorry, yeah, Weaver. Dude, that's so brutal, man.
That one play.
Man, I was like out of the room and I heard Kurt and Colin both just yell out loud, and I came in. They were like, "Dude, he got it punched out at the 1 yard line." Man, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's fantasy
on the
for
Weaver
you.
side, I mean, still putting up 17 points from Metcalf is good, but yeah, that's pretty unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt Ryan. You think Falcons going to be in shootouts every single game, only has 1 passing touchdown, 238 passing yards,
Right,
very
that's
pedestrian stat line. So
It's classic fantasy.
tough week for Weaver, but it's one of those cases where you're putting up points in a loss. So, like, he's 1-2. Him and I had the same record, but I think he has like a 40-point lead on me right now. So he's still in a very good position. Last matchup of this past week, we have the aforementioned We Demand Chubbery versus Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Dak Prescott had the unfortunate no start with Julio, so that guy puts up a goose egg. But even without that, pretty sad week outside of Prescott.
-3 from the defense is tough to deal
Negative
with.
points always sucks. I mean, 1 point from Valdez Scaling in a game where his team puts up 37 points.
That's unbelievable. The lizard, man. Yeah.
Took it all. Taylor putting up double digits as a starting running back for Indy.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, yeah.
That's good for him. This one I was interested in watching the Chubb versus Hunt Bowl because there's been a lot of dialogue about Hunt cutting into Chubb's time. But this week, Chubb took the point.
They were just
lead.
running all over Washington. Mahomes with the highest score of the week of any player, 41. That's a lot.
5 total touchdowns, 4
Yeah.
passing, 1 by way of the ground. That's what that's why you invest early in a quarterback.
That's why you take Mahomes.
And yeah, Evan's team is looking really good.
It is looking good. Cleveland, 14 points. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, that's so funny. I had the football team defense in that game thinking they would give me more than 1. I mean, a little subtext on that was Chase Young, their first rounder from this past year, left with an injury.
Right, I saw him walking.
But still, I mean, 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles recovered, and 3 sacks for the Cleveland defense.
That's good.
Yeah, it's just all around good.
Yeah, I like Cooper. I like Chubb a lot. They're going to be heavily involved going forward, I think.
Yeah. So that's all of our picks from last week. Moving on, and again, just to revisit, so both Weaver and I went 4-2. Stu went 5-1 in our picks from last week.
Job, Stu.
So moving on to some fun facts. Joey Bosa has a sack in 3 straight games, so still takes the lead in the Bosa bet.
Is that still going on? Is Heather Bosa even?
No, he's out for the year.
Oh, he's dead.
But I think it's like funny.
Oh, well, of course. Well, yeah, that makes it fun.
So DeAndre Hopkins, we talked about him earlier. He has a 36% target share for his team.
Wow.
Yeah. So over 1 in 3 passes are going his way. So O'Malley, great pick. Going back to the projected points that I've been monitoring, if we meet or eclipse them, this week only 4 out of the 12 of us met our projections. Brad, Evan, Pebs, and Weave, and subtext for Weaver is this is his second straight week in a row where he's met his projected point total and lost.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That is not a fun fact, but it's a good fact.
So again, this is the lowest total of the season for the league, 4 of 12. So low scoring week after a high scoring week we had last week.
Mm-hmm.
And both Bacon, Bill, and Max got the W this past weekend, but did not reach their projection. Max was closest. He missed his by under 2 points, but also pretty interesting. Moving on, things you hate to love to see. So last week I was giving Pebble some grief for only averaging about 100 points through the first 2 games.
Right.
And fast forward a week's time, Pebbles gets the high score of the league. Gall puts up 85, and Pebbles just vaults me in the rankings. So that's some swift fantasy karma.
Wasn't he talking shit on his own team as well, a la Gall last year with the aforementioned name?
Right, so I actually went back into the history to see if I could see what my team name was called week 2.
They didn't.
They only saved the last team name that you.
I think it was
saved.
week 2. I really do. We'll get to that later.
Right.
But Pebs, you really blew the doors off this week. I almost came to get you, but I couldn't quite get there.
Right, and then the next thing you hate to love to see, Brad getting the biggest blowout 2 weeks in a row. So this one was in the Buckaroo Ball against me, and I guess this is kind of a things you hate to love to see / fun fact. Brad played and beat Weaver, played and beat myself, and now he is playing Bacon.
No, reverse. I beat Bacon, beat you. Now
Weaver, that's right. Beat Bacon, beat Gall, and now he's going for the East Wing trifecta.
3 weeks in a row, which I would love to see that. I think it's only fair that Bacon, Colin, and Weaver all supplement my rent if I do, in fact, take care of the East Wing, particularly in blowout fashion, which it has been.
I was hoping you were going to say that if it happens that Bacon has to come back and then the 3 East Wingers have to do some kind of chore around the house.
Bacon could sweep the front walk after you swept the back. Did you even sweep the back yet?
Not yet. So I was going to wait till you could, if we could find a time where we could document the
a quick
loss.
Snapchat, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Very good.
But yeah, so keep an eye on that, and we'll get to the picks later on in the pod for next week. But I don't know if they've ever been done before, and that's not a deep dive that I'm willing to do.
No, I don't want to do it either.
But
we'll see.
Possible.
I'm happy with I scored the most, then second most, then second most. So we'll see if that can.
Spot.
You scored the most last week,
and then I scored second least this week. Too cute. I'm sorry, Josh Allen. I'm Buckaroo Allen. What have I done?
Atonement.
Okay, so moving on. Hashtag bet section. So water bucket bet. Weaver took the bucket in the first one. Weaver won this bet by choosing Brad last weekend. So whenever Weaver returns from the Great White North, he will be dumping a bucket of water on my head at some point. And I have to sweep the back patio and losing the Buckaroo bet.
That was the side bet. That was the Buckaroo bet, for sure.
So I also on Sunday lost the shotgun bet on the Panthers-Chargers.
Oh, dude, that was crazy too. Yeah.
The,
Bong water gets it done.
Basically, the Panthers played just well enough to win 5 field goals by Slither, and the Chargers
Dude, it was
not play
bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Not Herbert's fault. It's just all along a bad game script, I would say. Yeah.
Play calling was ridiculous. Like there were so many screens to the side that the Panthers just gobbled up every single one.
A lot of tackles for loss.
Every single one. Yeah. It's like throw the fucking ball downfield.
Herbert's got a cannon.
It's 2 minutes left in the game. Yeah. What is it? Whatever.
We've been seeing it for 12 plus years, so it's really not surprising.
Yeah. Same team, new quarterback, same story.
Yeah.
And then update on the Chicken Ranch bet. So Bill is 3-0, Stu is 2-1, and Stu is foretelling his spiral down the rankings. So if the season were to end today, and the Vikings / Titans players now have to be quarantined and tested, Stu would be applying to the Chicken Ranch.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with these Titans guys. I don't know. A lot of conjecture right now in Frisbee Touchdown Group Me. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah, so just to touch on that, what do you think is the most fair for us to do in this case.
I hope the NFL does it. Like I mentioned the bye, and Max talked about it a little bit too. I think it makes most sense to move up all those teams' buys, but it only works once, right? Like this is fine because no one's had a bye. So maybe that's an option. I just read like 20 minutes before we started recording that like the NFL anticipates playing or moving it to Monday because there's still plenty of time to test people, and it's Tuesday, and like 6 players don't play. It's like next man up kind of thing. So who knows, man? I don't know. I don't know what we should do if they don't play. That's really gonna suck. The projected points thing would be up for debate. I saw what you said, right? We all hate projected, but it's something. It's at least something.
Right.
So.
I saw something similar to what you're mentioning where the games could be moved back to Monday or even Tuesday because if they play on Tuesday and then they play on Sunday, they still would have the same amount of rest as the Thursday night games have.
Right, yeah, so it's not so bad.
But yeah, the projected points, it's like we've discussed as a league how we think it's annoying. And
we do dislike them, yeah.
I mean, I love talking about the bush.
Of course. The bush is a hollowed refrain, yes.
Comparing bushes is,
a tale as old as time.
Second only to collecting the currency of likes in the group me.
Yes. Yeah.
But every week there are guys who don't meet the projection or guys who like explode. Like those are the sleepers that we're all trying to find and then play.
That's the game of fantasy, right? So TBD, I think. We can probably know more on Thursday, hopefully.
For sure. But so moving on to the next very top of mind topic.
Frisbee baseball touchdown. Playoffs started today for MLB. 16 teams. Over 50% of the league in baseball is making the playoffs, which is crazy to me. But here we are. Colin and I did watch a little bit of the A's game from the 8th on. A lot of home runs for the Sox. I feel bad for the A's. That's a tough draw. The Sox are baller. I like their young players a lot. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, Colin and I are pulling for the A's pretty heavily. We'll see how it goes. What were you saying? Like the Sox crushed lefties and the A's started a lefty?
Right,
kind of thing?
Yeah. So I saw they went with the young stud lefty. The A's went with him, and there was some like Twitter chatter about how it was a questionable decision.
Right.
And again, we tuned in on the 8th, and I haven't really checked the box score, so I don't know how much.
3 home runs for the White Sox today. 4-1 final. Tomorrow, National League gets going. Pods versus Cardinals and Dodgers versus Brewers. 2 thoughts. Padres have lost to the Cardinals multiple times in the playoffs, including the last time we went, which was 14 years ago, 2006. Jake Peavy was the Game 1 starter for the Pods. Lost that game. Lost anyway. So I'm shook about it. Colin's shook about it. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm stoked for the team. Like, we're good, but we are starting Paddock tomorrow, which is not what would have made the most sense had everyone been healthy. Clevenger's out. Dinelson Lamet out. So we'll see how it goes. The guy starting for the Cards is pretty good. Dodgers Brewers, I have my hot take about all this is the Dodgers is the 1 overall seed. The Rays are the 1 overall seed. They should not have to play this bullshit round. Because it's baseball, right? Anything can happen. Like the Rays won today 3-1, but it was like they had the, runner on second for the Jays. They could have scored, could have tied it up. These 3-game series are real crapshoots. Brewers are sneaky, like they've snuck around, right? They got the last year's MVP or 2 years ago's MVP. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm curious. What are your thoughts for tomorrow?
Yeah, so quickly touching on today and the A's loss, the format of the postseason is pretty suspect because so the Brewers and the Astros are the only 2 teams that made the postseason with the under 500 record.
Wow, that's right. Yeah.
And it was expanded because of the limited number of games, and the MLB wants some TV revenue.
Yes.
So it makes sense from a fiscal standpoint, except the seeding went by, it's the number 1 and 2s of each division, and then the final 2 slots are wild card slots.
Right, that's right.
The White Sox, because the AL Central is pretty competitive, slipped to one of those wild card slots.
Right.
Wherein the Astros finished with a sub 500 record,
they're
but
right
were
next
seeded ahead of them.
Oh, really?
So the A's should be playing either the Astros or the Blue Jays, but instead they're playing the White Sox.
That is suspect.
So that's bullshit. And I mean, if
it's
the A's end up
pathetic.
losing, that sucks.
Yeah, that would suck.
But looking forward to tomorrow, same thing that what you've said is stoked on the Padres. We've been stoked all year, but I definitely still have the fear right? I
Yeah.
have to fear the offense has been kind of ho-hum the past few weeks. Lamette and Clevenger, both who are our top-line starters. We fucking traded the farm for Clevenger, and
Right.
now they're both questionable for this series.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm scared. And then, Dodgers-Brewers. I would love for the Brewers to upset the Dodgers, right?
I think we all would want Pods Dodgers next round, right? But I'll take
Yeah.
the Pods winning regardless of the other game outcome. But we'll see, man. A lot remains to be seen. It'll be over soon.
For sure. But that's your postseason update.
That's
for
your
the
Frisbee.
MLB.
That's your baseball touchdown
And
update.
if the Padres advance, you'll be hearing about it. And if they don't advance, you'll be hearing about it on
That's
next
exactly
week's
right. That's
podcast.
exactly right.
But now to one of our new favorite segments is the Group Me Likes.
A lot of action.
Yeah, so again, this is only 8 likes and above. This week we had a large number of them. So just to dive right into it, John Gruden, looking like the guy at Benihana that says, "It's showtime," as the cook lights the onion volcano.
Yeah.
Posted by Stu. Hilarious. 8 likes.
I laughed out loud for sure reading that one.
We kind of touched on this before about glass houses and me telling everyone to chill out before the week started, and then me reverting back to the what have I done. Adam posted,
It's
what
a
was your name
classic.
after 2 weeks last year? Fuck me, right? 8 likes. Oh, and then you respond.
Confirming.
It was definitely fuck me, right? 9 likes.
Confirmed. Yeah.
The league loves this banter. Let's see what else we got. So, Bill. Oh, this is when we were talking about Paul Pierce not appreciating LeBron and his prowess in these playoffs. Bill says if you rearrange the letters in Paul Pierce, it makes fucking clown.
He is a clown. It's
8
a fact
likes.
of life.
Scott gets 8 likes for posting the South Park cast photo in the stands at Denver.
I like that.
Right before the Buccaneers cock-slapped them, the boys were in attendance. And actually, I think it's pretty funny because if you remember the Little League episode of South Park where Randy fights all the dads,
Yes.
and they're in the stadium,
Yes.
and eventually
I thought this was America.
Randy stands... Yes, oh my God. Oh, this is America. But then Randy stands up in the stands and goes, "Denver sucks." And starts the fight with the Bat Dad.
Yes,
so I thought that was
exactly.
kind of funny that
Let's
they
go, Denver!
allowed Randy to be in the stands after saying that.
Right.
But they did suck. Scott also posted a nice pic of him and O'Malley sharing an ice bath.
That was very
Got
cute.
8
Yeah,
likes.
that would have been a super like for me if I had them.
And then after Scott went off the rocker, Bacon posted, "My COVID life has been tough. I'm glad fantasy football is one of the things I can still enjoy, especially with you bros."
Yes. We went for the wholesome
and
route.
That was 8 likes. So, Bacon, we love you, and I feel exactly the same.
Exactly right. That's exactly right, Bako.
And then more recently, yesterday, after I was lamenting that my all-star kicker is, on the shelf, Adam says, and Colin has tied significant emotional capital to coup. And that was also 8 likes.
Yeah, you do like Young Hoku arbitrarily, it seems like.
Well,
but
he has
now-
17 points and 2. I mean, he got 9 points, I think, this past
Any
week.
kicker that gets you points, you're going to have significant emotional capital involved.
Well, after my history.
Yes. That's exactly right. Well, anyway, now it's time for sponsorship. This week's podcast is brought to you by... Do you guys like having sex but want to make it feel slightly worse? Are you ever getting a really hot moment looking at a girl's face but don't feel anything downstairs in your Johnson? How about try wearing a condom? Brought to you by Trojan. Available at your local pharmacy, CVS, Walgreens, Walter Reed for those on the East Coast.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Yeah, Trojans. Make your dick feel like it's not yours.
And the podcast just got a little bit more sexy. Maybe a little less sexy?
Definitely less.
Yeah.
But at least you're having sex for a little bit until you can't feel anything.
Whenever I think about condoms, I think about that Always Sunny moment when Frank just drops his magnum. Oh no, there goes my magnum condom for my monster dong.
Yeah, exactly.
When he's picking up the scraps in the dentist system episode.
The dentist system, right? Exactly. Oh, that's also a classic in the EU. We should put that on one of the whiteboards. Just to always have
The dentist system.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So again, sponsorships are flying in. Trojans was this week.
Yeah, I just got a text from 5 Hour Energy. they're looking to get involved. So, Stu, you better lock that up.
Yeah, they don't appreciate you mixing it with ethanol in the morning.
Or butane, really. I'm concerned about your endocrine system.
It's been hurt once, it'll be hurt again. Be ready to hurt again. Okay, so I want to fact check myself, or I guess I should say go back to my waiver wire suggestions last week, as if this is going to be a running segment that we do. I want to go back on my work just to see how much accuracy or
your work.
Bullshit I'm spewing.
Honest.
So last week, 4 guys that I mentioned, Traquan Smith, Michael Pittman, Golden Tate, and then Devonta Freeman. Checking in on them. Traquan Smith, 4 receptions on 6 targets, 42 yards. That goes to a tune of 6.2 fantasy points.
It's not good. It's not
$15 expenditure by, I think it was Evan who picked him up. So that's, I mean, he could turn around if Michael Thomas is out, but as opposed to the week previous where we were kind of dogging on Emmanuel Sanders, he actually had a good week.
Dude, he had a great grab in the end zone too. Full extension overhead. That was cool. I actually drafted Traquan last year in like the 15th or 16th round because I read, off the cuff when you're panicking in the 16th round, you read some sleeper thing. And it's like Traquan Smith. I'm like, he sounds cool.
He's got a pick.
Right. He's got a pick. He's picking Traquan. Anyway, he did the classic, like, no points and then, like, a 21-point game. I think that's just going to be his character in the league for a little while.
It's like one of those periphery wide receivers in the Saints offense with Breeze slinging the rock.
Right.
It's like every now and then they're going to blow up, but then they're going to have a dud.
Kamara has 13 receptions. So,
right. They don't need wide receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
They just need more linemen.
Exactly, yeah.
Next, Michael Pittman, 3 of 4. 3 catches, 4 targets, 26 yards, so not that great. Only 4.1 fantasy points. Weaver spent $6 on him with no competition, and now Michael Pittman is injured.
It's reasonable all around. $6, not too much. 4.1, pretty mediocre. The injured, that's just classic NFL, like, screwed.
So on the Champion Pod, Stu was talking about how he picked up Zach Pascal and was saying it was a bad pickup, but now with Pittman injured and Hilton looking a little slow, Pascal might be the guy to own in that Philly Riv-driven offense.
What about T.Y.?
That's what I'm saying. He's kind of slow.
T.Y. is really letting me down. I should have picked Diggs.
Yeah, it's your team's humming along quite well.
Let me complain. All right. I may have something.
Next, Golden Tate. He has 5 catches on 7 targets for 36 yards. 6.1 points. The bid for that was $10. I don't know what to say. 5 catches is good, but the Giants' offense is pretty dog shit. And we can just tie in Freeman with that too. 5 rushing attempts for 10 yards. Adam spent $41 on him.
I think, Adam, you beat me by $5, so I was right there with you, buddy. But 1 point is the Giants are terrible. The
Giants are a dumpster fire.
Both the New York teams are so bad. It's the field. It's killing everybody. They can't play.
They can't play.
They can't play. No one can play.
They're in New Jersey. It sucks there.
No, they can't play.
Can't play. I'm sure he'll have better weeks than 1 point, but I don't think he's going to be worth that expenditure on the waiver bidding. So that was last week. Basically, those are all duds that Gall mentioned, so hopefully I do better this week. So for you early listeners, 3 guys to look out for, all 3 receivers. 1, Greg Ward, Philadelphia. Wentz is not looking great, but the wide receiver room in Philadelphia is just devastated with injury. Deshaun Jackson went down. Goddard went down. Alshon Jeffrey is still out. That other rookie, Rager, went down. So Ward, and again, this was an overtime game, which they tied, which just shows you the state of the Eagles.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
8 catches on 11 targets, 72 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
It's a huge game. Now, they do play the 49ers this next week, so not a great matchup, but if he's the only guy, and they're going to be down in some games, they're looking not good, the volume is going to be there.
For sure going to be there.
Next guy, T. Higgins on Cincinnati. He went 5 catches on 9 targets, 42 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Kind of like T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Green is looking a step slow. Joe Burrows is getting more comfortable. I mean, we said he put up 20 for Bacon. And
Likes your boy Boyd.
Boyd had a good game that just died on my bench because I was being an idiot. But Higgins being another young guy, if Burrows starts to have some chemistry with him, he might not put up 2 touchdowns every week.
Right.
But, I mean, 9 targets is a lot.
And they're playing the Jags.
And they're playing Jacksonville this next week, which is a defense that can be beat, as shown by the Dolphins.
Indeed.
And then last guy on Pittsburgh is James Washington. He went 5 catches on 7 targets, 36 yards. That's not a huge stat line, but the other receiver, Johnson, got injured, and so Washington is going to step up as a number 2 guy.
All right.
So 3 guys that I have my eye on. I'm not going to make any moves for these guys, but we'll be reporting back next week about them.
We'll see how they're doing very soon.
So next, that brings us to our Week 4 picks.
Ooh,
okay, Week 4 picks. So we're going to go through our matchups and see if Brad and I agree or disagree on some of these things and predict the future.
Indeed.
So we can start with my matchup. So myself versus Rent Tent Wentz. Now I see we do have a disagreement here where I'm picking myself and you are picking the beloved Ball.
Yeah, I'm going with my boy Bowling Ball. I was really happy, that you benched Rent Tent Chump. You got Roethlisberger out there. This Henderson on the Rams. We'll see how he does. I'm rooting for him. You got some ballers. We'll see if Adams is going to play. You have him in there. Got the Q. If he plays, I'm feeling good about the pick.
Yeah. So why I picked myself? One, I'm not going to be cute like last week. Buckaroo Allen is back in.
Good.
They're playing. Doesn't matter who the fuck they're playing because I thought the Rams were a good defense and he just fucked them.
Yeah, he's good.
Not only that, Boyd is back in there. We just talked about how Burrows likes him. Got Ridley, who had another big game of over 100 yards.
He's also very good.
Barely missed a touchdown. That was so awesome to watch. The first play the Falcons had, just like a 62-yard bomb to Ridley that he just
lays out, barely misses it. Yeah.
Parker's still getting the volume. Mixon, I'm definitely disappointed by him. He's looking like maybe the worst pick in the first round outside of Michael Thomas, who just got injured. So I don't even know if I would say it was a bad pick.
That's right.
My Bush place right now, I'm down by 5, but that's with my my heart coup still in the lineup, which if I were to read the tea leaves, he won't be in my lineup very much
Probably
longer.
not with Washington football defense.
And then the football team playing the Ravens, after they couldn't handle the Browns, they probably also won't be in my lineup.
It's also just classic Yahoo, right? Coup, doubtful, conceivably dead, still 1.6 points.
This is why projections are bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, on Adam's side, we touched on it. Big Ben is in there as better than Wentz. Marvin Jones, who I love, I'm sure that'll be a shootout with the Saints. So I could very easily see him eclipsing that projection. I'm kind of worried about Brown, though, on the Ravens. I mean, I know Lamar Jackson had a down game against the Chiefs, but still, 2 receptions on 6 targets for 13 yards. That is baloney.
That is baloney.
Devonta Adams, we just talked about it. He's questionable.
They got the lizard now.
Right, so the Packers were able to beat the Saints without Devontae. I could see them holding him out again. The Packers are 3-0. I bet you they go into this game thinking they can beat the Falcons, who are 0-3.
Atlanta sneaky bad.
And saving their stud wide receiver for later on in the season. Like, why are you going to risk that injury? Jacobs is going up against a tough Buffalo defense. I'm sure he'll get his opportunities, but
he has looked very good. I've been very impressed with him.
I mean, 12 points 2 weeks ago, less than 8 points a week ago against New England. They have a bunch of starters not playing because they opted out for COVID. So, I don't know. I think Adam has more question marks than the projections lead you to believe. But I will agree with you that Henderson looks like the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So, yeah, I'm taking myself in this one.
As you should. Very Adam. Reasonable.
So next we're going to look at PB Lee versus We Demand a Chubbery. Now, I took Evan in this one, and you also took Evan in this one.
He's looking sneaky good.
Yeah, well,
you got a sneaky good team. If Mahomes puts up 41 again, how can you pick against him? I like Anderson on the Panthers. He's getting a lot of looks. Bongwaters, that's his boy. Slayton on the Giants seems to be the only guy who's capable of doing anything in that offense as of now. Peebly going for the rare benching of the tight end and starting the tight end in the flex, which you don't see very often. I'm sure that will change. But yeah, I like Kupp, I like Keenan, I like Galladay. Those guys are all ballers, right? Murray at Carolina, I think he could run around a lot. So it's going to be, I think, pretty close, especially when he gets the tight end in there. But I do like Evan's team, just in general. I think they're pretty solid across the board.
Right, yeah. It can be difficult to pick against the team that put up the highest amount of points in the past week. And Pebble's credit, Galladay, who we had spoken about, was injured and then came back, scores the touchdown for the Lions in that victory they had over the Cardinals. Cheers, Buckaroo. Fuck yes.
Cheers to you.
But Evan's team has just been a juggernaut this year.
Yeah, really solid.
Murray, Galladay, Allen, they're all going to produce. Gurley has not looked that great. I mean, he seems to be in a timeshare with Brian Hill, who's
he's getting rushes. I just think the game scripts have been pretty bad for them. It's wild stuff. They're giving up so many points.
Yeah, we talked about Robinson on the Jags. They're playing Cincinnati, who is another not good defense, so he's going to produce. But looking at Evans' team, I mean, Mahomes put up a fucking 40-burger.
Unbelievable, yeah. He looks so good. He's clearly the dude.
Cooper's looking good. Chubb, we talked about. Jones also playing Atlanta. And if we're agreeing the Packers are going to run up the score on the Falcons, Jones are going to get his opportunities later in that game.
Right.
Ertz is going to get an uptick because we talked about the receivers on the Eagles.
Right.
And how they're injured. Robbie Anderson looking like the actual number one receiver in Carolina and not G.J. Moore to my sadness.
Right, right.
So, yeah, even though Pev's put up a monster week, Evan's team is more consistent. He's in third place on purpose, so that's why we both got Evan.
Jones with the 44 last week. We'd be remiss not to comment on that. That's a lot. And I didn't want to draft him, and he looks really like the real deal. Top 5 back for sure.
Both Evan and Bacon could crack the playoffs. Now, again, it's very early, and everyone should chill out and not freak out, especially at 10:02 on Sunday morning.
Too late at that point.
But right now, yeah, both those guys who don't visit the playoffs that often have some strong teams, strong cases at this point. But we're both taking Evan. Next game that we're going to go over. Speak of the devil, we have Bake On, Bake Off versus Dak Prescott. Yeah.
My rivals this year, the two Buckaroos playing each other.
So I got Bacon, you got Bacon. We agree on this one too. Thoughts?
I stand in solidarity with the U. Unless I'm playing them, then I can't stand them. But anyway, Novum, after starting a 0 last week, he's still got Julio in there. We'll see if he comes back. I do like Prescott. I think he's pretty solid across the board. Jonathan Taylor-Thomas in there as well, and looks like the same exact lineup as last week. Bacon, Joe Burrow. I like Burrow. He makes some plays. Of course, I love Hawk and Cock, as we all know.
Buckle up, Buckaroo.
Yeah, buckle up, Buckaroo. Tucker against the football team could have a bunch of points. We'll see. Again, Henry has really been surprising me, and I don't know what to make of Pittsburgh, if they're good or bad. I'm not really sure at this juncture. They did beat the Texans, but the Texans could just be bad. So
Texans are a sneaky 0-3.
Yeah, exactly. I think morale really suffered after the Hopkins trade. So, we'll see, man. I'm curious as to what's going on in the bench here. They got a lot going on. The Michael Thomas, he has projected points, which is surprising to me. I thought he was out for a while, but we'll see how he does.
Yeah, what's his little blurb here?
In a week forward turn, so we'll see.
We'll probably get an update later on in this week. But
we'll see if Scott Rembers should start him if he does play.
We'll see. But yeah, it's tough for Scott with Thomas going out, Julio being on the shelf as well. It's this is top 2 picks right there, exactly, so it's tough to go down and then expect to have some success. Prescott's doing well. we'll see if Valdez Scantling can produce. When we talked about the lizard and how he's scurrying all around the
He
field
is.
for Rodgers.
And lying in the sun sometimes, weirdly. But
You know,
Rodgers is finding
charging.
him.
He's unguardable.
Yeah,
Whatever he's doing. He's
exactly,
unguardable.
yeah.
Mark Ingram finds himself in a timeshare with Frodo Dobbins and even Gus Edwards. And that offense did not look that good against the Chiefs. I mean, the touchdown that they scored, or one of them, was because of a kick return, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to think that the Ravens do a little better against the football team.
The Chiefs are the best team in the league, I think. So it's pretty straight. They've really picked up right where they left off. So, I would expect him to do better for sure. And Sanders, I was very impressed with him on the Monday night game. He was sick for sure. So we'll see how he goes. Or Sunday night, I guess is what it was. Yeah. He was really good.
Additionally, something interesting in this matchup is Singletary for Bacon, the Buffalo running back.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Moss, his backup, missed this last week.
That's right.
Questionable for the next week, and so Singletary's usage is going to be high. I mean, he only had 13 carries in this last game because it was a little closer than the Bills would have liked.
71 yards, that's pretty damn good. Five yards a carry.
That's a great average, and because the Las Vegas Raiders, the Patriots did a lot on the ground against them, and for those short screens to Burkhead, I think Singletary is going to have a good game against them. So yeah, I mean it's tough to pick Scott when his first and second round picks are out, but Bacon's team is humming along. Again, currently in 5th place, so we both got Bacon in this one.
Yep.
Next matchup, no one fucks like Gaston versus You Shall Not Pass.
With that super sick Lamar picture.
Diamond Bill. Again, we are of the same
agreement.
mind.
Yeah. I mean, I got to choose against you, bro. You're 0-3. The 0-4. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. You started 0-6, Buckaroo.
I went 0-6 with Mahomes.
That's right.
And then I think
the QB whisperer
I ended up
era.
I had Wentz who crushed it.
I think you ended up 5-7. I think so.
I was 6-7 and then got 7th.
Right. That's right.
Or
right.
it might have been 5-8. 5-8 or 6-7.
You came a long way, but the 0-6 is tough. I don't want that for you, O'Malley. I don't want you 0-6, but I think Bill's team is honestly just a better team at this point, to be perfectly honest, right? Lamar is not going to score 14 again. He's playing the football team. Like, dude, they don't know what they're doing out there. Gallup on the bench, I'm sure he has some regret. Even he took the L last week, close by that, right? Or no, he won. He won.
Yeah, but right. Gallup blew up on the bench.
That's right. So he's not making the same mistake twice. As for O'Malley, right? I love Hopkins, Stafford as well. Cook, solid guys. Gaskin, he seems to be the guy, but I don't know what's going to happen in that game against Seattle too. They're at home. Seattle's got to travel. I think they could just hit the receivers right. I mean, I got P. Willie down there. You got Devontae Parker. We're hoping for a shootout. So maybe they don't rush the ball very much. Buffalo at the Raiders. That could be a good pick on the defensive side. Yeah, I mean, I think we both chose Bill because he's 3-0 and he's playing an 0-3 guy.
Right. I mean, the Bush points actually make it seem closer.
It does seem pretty close.
But yeah, my quick hits are Russell Gage still in the lineup for O'Malley. He's concussed. I'd be surprised if he plays. O'Malley will have an interesting decision where to slot in.
Yeah, what's going on with Crowder? Let's take a look here.
Crowder looking like
limited.
Oh, they're playing Thursday. He's probably not going to go. Side note, Broncos Jets Thursday night. It's
got to
be
a snoozer,
fucking
dude.
Terrible game.
I implore you all to watch baseball instead if it is on. I believe the NBA Finals will also be on, so
yes.
that might be the move.
But what I was going to say for O'Malley is Mecole Hardman just had a huge game.
Oh, Mecole.
He's like the classic boomer bust guy.
He really is.
And, I mean, can O'Malley ignore the 17.1?
Yeah.
Can he do it?
I honestly don't think I could ignore it.
This also is a very interesting matchup. Chiefs versus New England.
Yeah, at home.
In Kansas City. So that's big. Also, Jefferson, the Minnesota wide receiver, the rookie, exploded.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 7
28 points. O'Malley, get him in the game.
9 targets, 175 yards and a touchdown.
My goodness. At Houston, that's probably going to be a high-scoring game. I'll give you a call after this. We'll have a chat.
So, I think O'Malley's going to put up a fight in this one. But, yeah, you can't. So, Bill, he's a fan of the podcast. He wrote us some fan mail a few weeks ago. We sent him a hoodie.
What
Please
a
let
sweetheart.
us know if that was received or not.
Right.
Take a pic for, the gram.
Go buy some Trojans, Bill.
But, he's timing Bill for a reason. He's 3-0. He's in second place. Lockett exploded. Gallup on the bench, who on this podcast, we talked about how he may be third in the pecking order behind Lamb, but he came out in a big way last week for Dallas. So rightfully so is back in the lineup. Diggs, we talked about.
I like him.
Seemed like his chemistry with Josh Allen did not take much time at all. And kind of away from your boy Brown. That's actually a good segment. So Brown put up a goose egg. He was a little hobbled. What's your plan with him this week?
I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look. He's in there for now. Actually, the guy in Detroit's in there for now. But speaking of Diggs, it was crazy. The Bills had the ball in like the 5. Touchdown to Diggs. Called back for, I don't even know, offensive pass interference or something. Next play to Diggs again. Touchdown again. Also called back. They had to go review. And then they throw to the tight end. So Diggs could have had 20 points last week. He said he had 14. But I was like, dude, you can't. 2 touchdowns in a row and then take them both off the board is just tough.
He's a target.
Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, they're throwing him the ball. So we'll see how it goes this week.
So also one thing to note, Johnson Pittsburgh is in Bill's lineup. We talked about him being injured. Let's see. He's in the concussion protocol as well. So, I mean, Johnson would be a
what other options do you got here, Bill?
Let's see. Well, Diamond Bill's got thou shall not pass against Cincinnati. Let's see if he goes with his namesake. Beyond that, he's got Jeff Wilson, who depends on if Mostert comes back or not.
Yeah, I got McKinnon, so we'll see. They got five running backs in Santa Clara.
Right.
Sorry.
I mean, they were playing fucking the Giants, so they're all going to produce. And the Eagles have not looked good either. So, Bill's got some decisions, but I think he's in a good spot.
I think so too.
But in terms of our picks,
we both got
Bill's going to take it.
Yeah, for now.
Hang in there, Bro Malley.
Hang in there, Buckaroo. Prove us wrong.
Blair Witch Bro Malley. All right, next we got the Charkin Ranch himself and Mr. Prince of El-Air. So on this one, and again, this is before waivers come out, so things could adjust a little bit. But my pick is Max, and wow, you have Stu.
I got Stu.
I would love to hear your logic as Stu self-proclaimed himself spiraling into,
That's classic Stu projection, gaslighting from Good, which we've all seen before. But I think the team is solid, right? We got the Lizard, as you and I both enjoy. Amber Robinson had a lot of chatter on draft day, but he's kind of proving the haters wrong. I like Chark. We'll see how it goes. I see you betting against your Panthers with the Arizona D as of now. I'm not sure if that's going to change with the waiver wire. But, I think you made a mistake last week with Deshaun. I see you've righted the ship there. Peterson Sneaky had 22 carries last week. So
he's the guy.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. But
for 75 yards.
Yeah,
wow.
I know, that's absolute trash. Trash.
Why does Patricia, the head coach, hate Swift?
I don't know. Well, he dropped that touchdown pass in week 1.
That's actually very true. Yeah.
What's going on with Carson on the bench here, Stewie?
Did you see that play?
No, I didn't see.
Carson ran the ball, gets tackled, whistle's blown, and then afterwards, the D lineman who was involved in the play for the Cowboys did like a gator roll on his fucking leg on the ground.
You got to kick him off the tour.
Super dirty play.
Yeah, that's weak.
Thankfully, Carson is avoiding any significant injury, but he is for sure questionable for this next weekend.
For sure. I think that's really fucked up. For one thing. Secondly, I don't think Max's team is bad in this case. I kind of want the Charkin Ranch. I'm pulling on my heartstrings. Russ can't keep on this pace, but maybe he can because he's in Miami.
The Dolphins,
It's insane. 32 points, 34 points,
wow.
37.8 points.
Wow.
Maybe the cross country flight will affect him. Probably not. I'm sure he's just gonna ball out. Of note, Max has a ton of guys Sunday at 10 a.m. He's only got 2 guys after those games, so we'll know pretty quick how this one's going to end up on Sunday.
Yeah, so I'm taking Max because Chark is questionable for Stu. Again, Peterson, he's in there with a terrible yards per carry. I think Robinson has some new life with Foles, so they're playing Indy, and Indy's got a good defense. Stu has to start Alexander Madison because both Carson and McCaffrey are out. Yeah, so Stu's feeling that one. Waller, he had a down week. Belichick played him really well defensively. Will Buffalo take that script? I know the Raiders are kind of hurting too on their pass catchers with Ruggs questionable for next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stu's got Brown on the Titans currently in his flex, but who also is questionable. He didn't play the last 2 games. I just think a lot of injury and question marks on Stu's team, whereas Max is much more steady. I mean, yeah,
Max
Wilson,
is definitely steady.
Wilson putting up 30-plus points in 3 straight games is you can't ignore. I mean, McLaurin
You
against
can't
Baltimore is going to be tough.
I do
but
like Scary Terry. He's a solid player.
the football team's going to be down late and they're going to be chucking it.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, we talked about his production.
See if he can do the 3 touchdowns, 3 yards. Yeah.
Right.
That was unbelievable.
Connor having a great string of games. Mark Andrews had an uncharacteristically bad game.
That's a high projection for a tight end, I feel like.
Well,
That's
Andrews
Kelsey
is like
numbers.
the most dependable guy for Jackson, and Jackson had a bad game. So he's
Right,
also
there you
playing
go.
the football team.
Yeah, the football team.
Hyde, this is actually a sneaky fun thing to watch, is Carson's backup.
Right, okay.
And with Carson not playing, Hyde, I think, is going to easily outplay his projection unless Pete Carroll has some kind of crazy RBBC.
Right, RBBC.
Niners defense looking good still.
Every single one of Max's games says thunderstorms right now. I don't know what the fuck Yahoo's thinking with that, but there's a lot of rain, bro.
Maybe they know something that the meteorologists don't.
Yeah, what the hell?
But anyway, yeah, I got Max. You got Stu. That's fun. I think, yes. I mean, Stu is kind of hurting because of injuries right now. He's got to weather the storm until his guys get back.
That's right, yeah.
But we talked about Pascal earlier.
Yes.
So we'll see if he makes his way into the lineup, maybe ahead of Brown on Tennessee.
Right, or Chark. Right.
Yeah. Lizard will stay because
he's a lizard. You can find him. He'll be out there.
he's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Okay, so last matchup. This is good. We got Shoest her, Shoest him, Shoest everybody versus Men's Zerling.
Yep.
Actually, I wanted to bring you on the pod solely so we can talk about your name selection
Oh,
and
yes.
why it's lasted so long.
Well, it's lasted so long because, 1, I DGAF. 2, I'm in first place by a healthy margin. So I can't change it unless I take the L or start to drop in the rankings. Also, I like the picture. The guy's a firing guy. He's got like a USA hat and he's curling. I've always liked curling from a young age as a lad. I've really enjoyed curling. Speaking of curling and Zerling, he's been the most mediocre guy on my team by far. But he's not getting 0, so trot him out there. Yeah, I feel okay about this week. Like, my receivers are all playing guys that are green matchups. I'm not stoked about Godwin being out after the baseball bat incident on the sideline.
Yep.
Kamara's 19.8 is just too low. That's not going to happen. McKinnon also with a Q. Mostert also with the Q, which is confusing. I'm going to start one of them for sure. And then Swift I have in the flex right now, but I guess subject to change. I don't want like Howard sucks, right? He's doing the classic
What about
one.
John Brown? What's his?
I don't know if I can trust him, dude. After his whole thing.
Would you say he'll be active on the wire tonight?
TBD. When does this podcast get sent out? Sent out at 12:01.
Yeah.
Playing Weave Dog though. He's got a solid team. I like Woods, Schuster as well. Shoest him, Schusteroo.
Shoest us, yep.
Yeah, Schusteroo. Yeah. You got Kittle in the lineup, bro. Let's see how that goes. You with the Q. He's got points.
He's projected to be back.
Okay.
He said the last 2 weeks, or I guess week and a half. I think he might have been banged up because of the MetLife turf.
Yeah, that turf is trash. He's going with the PB Lee double tight end as of right now. Of course, it's Tuesday, so we'll see how that goes.
That's right. Yeah, it's Frodo Dobbins currently on the bench. How did he do last night? 6.4.
He's doing something. He's running around.
Better than nothing. Lindsley still the Q. Pittman, he'll be on the wire very soon.
For sure.
Claypool, didn't he have a good game? Oh, he had the classic boom in week 2, bust in week 3.
Boom him, you start him, you bust him. There you go.
Weaver's got a lot of Qs. So you're picking yourself?
I'm picking myself, yeah.
So yeah, I'm also picking you. And even before, or actually I say after the Godwin injury, and even because I don't believe in Hilton, Fuller is the guy against Minnesota, and their defense is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Williams, I think, is a question mark on Miami.
I think so, too.
I think Seattle will be up, so they will be throwing. But last week, he had the 1 touchdown and then nothing beyond that.
Would have been better than Brown. nevertheless.
and here you are, 3-0 in first place.
Here we are, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Kelsey, inarguably number one tight end in the league. Actually, this is the fun tight end matchup, the Kittle versus Kelsey.
This is the one.
Even though Kittle's been banged up and is not putting the numbers because of the injury,
banged up.
we
You hate to
do
see
get
it.
to see these tight ends in the same fantasy matchup, which you love to see.
Which you do, yeah.
You got the Buckaroo defense against the Clippers.
Yeah, I do. They really showed me that they want to play, and New England's playing Kansas City. I can't deal with that.
Well, if Herbert continues to play for the Chargers, there will be some turnovers, and they just look lackluster anyway in that past game. On the Weaver side, Mike Davis was a great pickup. I put in a bid for him, but I was like double-digit dollars off because I was riding high on my week high of points. He had 8 targets for 2 straight weeks on top of the carries he was getting in the backfield, so he will continue to produce for the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, those shotgunning Panthers. I just think you got it. I think is you can't bet against the first place team. You've been what'd you say you were first, second, and first in points?
First, second, and I have a
first, second,
healthy
second.
lead in points.
Yeah, it's even though Weaver's got the bush right now, the moves will be made.
Moves will be made for sure.
I'm not going to pick against you until you lose. And
hey, my guy.
I can't wait for you to change your name when that happens. However, I will say when I look at your avatar, I think of Andy Reid.
I also think of Andy Reid.
Andy Reid is curling for the U.S.
Yeah, I was
is that
looking.
the U.S. team or the Canada team?
It's U.S.
No,
the
U.S.
There was several better avatars, but I picked the U.S. one. But yeah, I totally agree with Andy Reid. Fun fact: I saw Andy Reid at Ballast Point in San Diego the last year the Clippers were actually in San Diego. Saw Andy Reid at Ballast Point, looking exactly like my avatar and how you always see him on the sideline.
With the walrus mustache.
Walrus mustache, like beer in the mustache, with the Chiefs hat on. Like, just looking like he came from the game, which I imagine he did. It's literally exactly, it was like 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. So, yeah, and that's, he was a Super Bowl champion. There you go.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Good for him. And now you got the best quarterback in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, to recap, you have Adam beating me, but we both have Evan over Pebs, both have Bacon over Scott, both have Bill over O'Mouse.
That's right.
We defer in the Stu Max matchup, and then we both have yourself over Weave. So 2 things deferring.
Going for the East Wing trifecta.
That's right. Yeah, to bring it all back, you're going for the East Wing
We'll
trifecta,
see.
which would be
Unprecedented.
I'm an East Winger for life, so I hope Weaver takes you down. But my pick says otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
And so any closing thoughts you have? It was great to have you on the pod.
Yeah, I had a great time. We're sitting in the backyard at the U. Lovely Eve. Miss all you guys. Excited to see you all soon, and good luck this week. Let's hope for less injuries than the previous 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Good luck to everybody except for Adam, and go Pods.
Go Pods, baby.
Go Pods. All right, signing off.
See ya.